Imagine walking into a model room of the 21st century. The central air conditioning system is running silently. The thermometer displays exactly 25 degrees Celsius. But if you stay in that room long enough, for about 4 to 5 hours continuously, a vague yet heavy sensation will begin to overtake you. You feel tired for no reason. Your head feels slightly dizzy. Your skin feels dry yet sticky, and a primal urge awakens within you. You want to throw open the windows or step completely outside. Strangely enough, it might be 32 degrees Celsius out there, with wind and dust, but your body rejoices, feeling that it is much more comfortable. If it is hot, lower the temperature. If it is cold, raise the temperature. But the truth is much more complicated than that. The modern architecture industry is operating on a core yet flawed assumption. They confuse mechanical climate control with the biological satisfaction of human beings. To understand why modern spaces fail to make us happy, we must look at our bodies from the perspective of thermodynamics. The human body is not a passive thermometer, it is a biochemical reactor, continuously generating energy. Every second, billions of your cells burn energy to sustain life. Even when you are sitting still reading a book, your body still radiates an amount of heat equivalent to a 100-watt incandescent light bulb. If you exercise lightly, this number increases to 200 or 300 watts. This heat must be dissipated into the surrounding environment continuously and effectively. If the heat dissipation process is blocked, you will feel restless and hot. If it dissipates too quickly, you will shiver. Therefore, thermal comfort does not depend on the temperature of the air, but on the speed and method of heat exchange between your skin and the environment. The human body releases heat through 4 main pathways. The first is thermal radiation, accounting for about 40 to 50% of heat loss. Your skin exchanges infrared rays directly with the surrounding surfaces, like walls, ceilings, and floors, without needing to go through the air. The second is convection, accounting for about 25 to 300%, when currents of air move across the skin and carry heat away. The third is evaporation, accounting for about 15 to 20%, through sweat evaporating from the pores. Finally, there is conduction, which accounts for a very small percentage, occurring when the skin directly touches an object, such as the soles of the feet touching the floor. Some thermometers. Scenario 1 is a modern glass apartment. The air temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. However, because the room is enclosed in large glass windows that absorb solar radiation all day long, the inner surface of the glass and the concrete walls have accumulated heat and warmed up to 32 degrees Celsius. The air in the room is stagnant because the doors are closed tightly to run the air conditioning. At this time, even though the air is cool, your body continuously receives infrared thermal radiation radiating from the walls and glass. The radiation process of the body is reversed or blocked. Scenario 2 is a room in a traditional 3-compartment house or a house with an interior courtyard. The air temperature is also 26 degrees Celsius, but the walls of the house are made of thick terracotta bricks, and the floor is laid with cool ceramic tiles with a surface temperature of only about 22 degrees Celsius. The room has a gentle natural breeze, blowing at a speed of only 0.2 meters per second. At this time, your body easily radiates heat to the cool walls. The gentle breeze carries away convective heat, and sweat evaporates naturally. The forgotten law of comfort is that our brains do not measure the temperature of the air. They measure the total response of the nervous system to changes in pressure, wind speed, humidity, and especially the radiation temperature of surrounding surfaces. Modern homes control the air, but have forgotten the material surfaces. Before the era of cheap energy like coal and electricity, humanity lived for thousands of years in the harshest environments, from the scorching heat of the Persian desert to the suffocating humidity of the tropical monsoon region of Southeast Asia. Our ancestors had no room for error. A poorly designed house meant exhaustion, sickness, and even death. condensing into the architectural genetic code of vernacular buildings. Amazingly, without knowing anything about modern fluid mechanics or thermodynamics, ancient master builders created perfect ecological machines using nothing but geometry and materials. First and foremost is the windcatcher system of the ancient Persians, also known as the Badgir. In ancient cities like Yazd in modern-day Iran, where summer temperatures easily exceed 40 degrees Celsius, the residents invented wind towers rising high into the sky. The operating principle of the windcatcher is based on two classic physical phenomena: wind pressure difference and the stack effect. When this wind is forced down the narrow tower shaft, its velocity increases due to the Venturi effect, rushing into the house and pushing the hot, stagnant air inside out through the windows on the opposite side, or through the tower shafts on the leeward side, where there is negative pressure. At night or when the wind is calm, the stack effect activates. The daytime sunlight heats the ceramic brick structure of the tower. At night, the tower radiates heat, warming the air inside the tower shaft. The hot air expands, becomes lighter, and rises straight up, escaping through the mouth of the tower. This process creates a low-pressure zone at the bottom of the tower, which unintentionally sucks up all the cool air from the interior courtyards or basements of the house, creating a continuous air circulation loop without needing a single electric fan. Furthermore, the Persians combined the windcatcher with an underground water channel system dug deep into the earth, called a qanat. The hot air from the desert, after being sucked down by the tower, is directed over the surface of this cold underground water stream. Here, the phenomenon of evaporative cooling takes place. The water absorbs the heat of the air to evaporate, reducing the air temperature by 10 to 15 degrees Celsius and increasing the humidity to an ideal level before blowing into the living space. The second solution is the interior courtyard, the heart of microclimate regulation. That is, the house always faces inward, circling around an open central yard. The interior courtyard is not merely a place to grow plants or let in light. It is a thermodynamic heat pump. At night, cold air, which is heavier than hot air, sinks and accumulates in the heart of the courtyard like water filling a cup. In the surrounding rooms that open their doors toward the courtyard benefit from this block of cool air. During the day, direct sunlight shines down on the courtyard, causing the air here to heat up rapidly and rise straight up. This rising action creates a gentle negative pressure suction, pulling cool air from deep inside the rooms, which are well shielded by long eaves, out into the yard. As a result, it is precisely the temperature difference between the dark zone inside the room and the bright zone in the courtyard that automatically generates wind. The third solution, and also the most frequently overlooked factor, is the thermal mass of the walls. Why did the houses made of terracotta, stone, or mud, mixed with straw of the ancients, have walls that were 60 centimeters or even 1 meter thick? In terms of modern commercial space, this is a terrible waste of area. But in terms of architectural physics, it is thermal mass technology. Every material has a coefficient called specific heat capacity and thermal lag. Thin modern walls made of drywall, glass, or reinforced concrete have a very short thermal lag of only 1 to 3 hours. This means that if the sun shines on the wall at 12 o'clock noon, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all of that heat has penetrated the wall and baked the inside of the house. Conversely, stone and terracotta have a thermal lag of up to 10 to 12 hours. Let us see how an ancient wall operates like a battery storing heat. At 12 o'clock noon, the sun scorches the outside, and the thick wall begins to absorb heat. Thanks to its massive bulk of matter, it swallows this energy slowly, without increasing the temperature of the inner surface of the wall. The inside of the house remains cool. By 22 o'clock at night, the outdoor temperature drops sharply, and the air becomes cold. By delaying the movement of heat energy, the ancient house flattens the extreme temperature fluctuations between day and night, turning the indoor living environment into a comfortable constant. It hides in the way that space interacts with our endocrine system and nervous system through light and materials. This is precisely where modern architecture reveals its greatest shortcoming regarding human mental health. Either it is massive glass panels from floor to ceiling, causing glare and excess heat, or it is high-power white LED light systems turned on at a uniform 100% from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. This homogenization of light is a disaster for the human circadian rhythm. Our brains evolved over millions of years to read and understand the world through the continuous change of the light spectrum. Stimulates cortisol to help us relax and prepare for sleep. When you live in a space with an unvarying light intensity, the biological clock is erased. Step into a traditional Japanese house or a Vietnamese three-compartment house. By the time it arrives, it has become a diffused light that is incredibly gentle on the eyes, creating no harsh areas of contrast. It creates a deep sense of biological safety in the human psychology, satisfying the instinct of a primate wanting to hide in a safe, dark cave and look out at the sun-drenched world outside. Next is the concept of biophilia and the touch of natural materials. Another factor that makes modern homes lose the emotional race is surface materials. Painted drywall, plastic vinyl flooring, glass, steel, and polished artificial stone all share a common characteristic. They are inert, saturated materials. They do not change over time. They have no scent. They have no natural rough texture, and they have high thermal conductivity, making us feel cold when we touch them. Ancient architecture enveloped humans in wood, terracotta, natural lime plaster, bamboo, and sedge. Natural wood has the ability to breathe. It absorbs excess moisture when the weather is humid and releases moisture when it is dry, keeping the room humidity at a naturally harmonious level. In addition, natural materials age over time, creating a visual flow of history that soothes human anxiety about the unknown. Looking back at the whole picture, we cannot deny the great achievements of modern architecture. We cannot and should not return to living entirely in mud houses or ancient caves, lacking medical and sanitary utilities. But our mistake is that we threw the baby out with the bathwater. When we obtained cheap energy, we became lazy. We designed buildings like glass boxes in the middle of deserts or tropical regions, and then stuffed them with massive air conditioning units to correct our mistakes. That is an architecture that is irresponsible with energy and cruel to human biology. It lies in a concept that is becoming the leading trend in the global architecture industry, which is smart, passive design. Today, pioneering architects are using supercomputers and energy simulation algorithms to calculate precisely the wind direction and the path of the sun at each specific coordinate. But instead of using that data to design air conditioning systems, they use it to reshape the geometry of the building. They study hybrid materials, developing types of bioconcrete and improved terracotta that can store large amounts of heat energy, but with a lighter weight, combining them with high-performance insulation layers to optimize the thermal lag for the walls of the house. The house will automatically open the windows using electric motors when the outdoor weather is beautiful, utilizing the interior courtyard and the stack effect to cool naturally. Finally, there is modern biophilic design, bringing greenery, water bodies, and diffused light into the cores of skyscrapers through technical multi-story atriums, transforming lifeless concrete blocks into self-balancing ecosystems. Your body, from the retina of your eyes, the pores on your skin, to your heart rate and the hormones running in your blood, is still the body of a creature molded from the natural world hundreds of thousands of years ago. It was not designed to live inside a completely insulated sealed box, breathing dry artificial air and looking at monotonous strips of LED light. Ancient houses bring a better feeling not because they are the product of some magic or romantic nostalgia. They feel better because they strictly follow the rules of nature. They understand that a home is not a fortress to fight against the environment, but a biological membrane that helps humans communicate with the environment in the gentlest way. The future of architecture is not about building smarter buildings by stuffing more computer chips or touchscreens into the walls. A truly smart home is a home that knows how to cool itself with a passing breeze, warm itself with a winter sunbeam, nourish the human soul with gentle pockets of darkness, and knows how to remind us that we are a part of nature, never have been, and never will be separate.